Frank has been reached out to. So the question would be, how does that contract with David Tepper work? How would that dynamic with Nick and Frank work when it comes to, again, you would have the protege, and I think the best guy to answer this.
I don't know if you had me or not. Did you lose
No,
me?
I didn't have you there, so let me reset it for you.
Okay.
What would you make of Frank coming back this time? He would be working for Frank.
I'm absolutely 100% with it because those two guys will be on the same page. Frank Reich is a really, really sharp offensive mind. It's Boomer Esiason about Frank Reich. He can't say enough good things, and I think Boomer would know. They play together at Maryland. So I'm 100% on board. But the one thing I don't want to hear, well, I had X amount of offensive coordinators, X amount of years. There's no excuses. You've got to execute. Players have to execute what the coach puts out there. And if the player's good enough, he executes. Good teams always lose coordinators. I mean, it happens because they get jobs. So that's okay. Detroit's going to lose their offensive coordinator, which everybody lost them already. Everybody says, oh, Ben Johnson was the guy that made it. Jared Goff, what he was. No complaints. It happens when you have success. But I would have no problem with Frank Reich. I would love Frank Reich. They would be on the same page. I know Nick Sirianni learned a lot from Frank Reich, and I think they would work well together. Now, if Kellen Moore gets the New Orleans job, obviously Frank Reich should be in the picture. So, yeah, no problem whatsoever. And just because guys are friends, what do you want? The coordinator and the head coach to be they can't stand each other? How does that work?
All right, two last ones here for you, Howard. Jalen Carter. I made this comparison on draft night, and obviously, I played with Jerome, covered Jerome, you were around the moment.
Great guy.
Great guy. Love Jerome. He's one of my best friends of all time. God rest his soul. His birthday's coming up on the 4th, by the way. Jalen Carter, can you put him in that category now and start to look at the type of talent that he has? We use T. Jerome Brown, and
I don't like to compare players, especially players from different eras, because the game is different too. Jalen Carter is a stud. There's no question. Jerome Brown was a stud. But they're two different players. I just think physically, Jalen Carter might be a little more physical than Jerome Brown. They both have good technique now, and Jalen Carter's learned a lot. But I don't want to compare them. Both great players. And it's too bad Jerome Brown didn't have 3 years to show how great he was over a period of time. And Jalen Carter, in the short time that he's been in the NFL, he took another step this year. I don't want to compare them because they're both really terrific players. But Jalen Carter really makes that defensive line really solid. And he makes won so many games with their defense. We talked about Saquon Barkley all one, and the offensive line, which deserves a lot of credit. And the wide receivers are really good. But that defense, especially there was a stretch of the season where they needed that defense. And that defense is really good. Two young guys, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Who would have figured those two guys would have made the contributions they have made in the first year? They lose Kobe Dean, and they don't really lose that much, although Kobe Dean's had a great year. And that's one that got left. I got to say that nobody expected. Nobody. So, with all that said, you got to give the defense credit. And Jalen Carter is certainly a big part of that defense.
Finally here, who wins in 10 days, in your opinion? I think the Eagles are more physical than they were in 22, and that was a physical football team. But Howard, that defense didn't show up in the second half of that Super Bowl. They let that beat up in case he came back. In your opinion, don't you think this is a team that's rolling better than that? Even though they did give an upset that year in the NFC Championship game. How do you see it?
Well, I think the defense is better than that defense. I don't think there's a question about that. But they lost that game. They were up by, 11 or 14 points before that fumble by Jalen Hurts, which became a touchdown. That changed the whole dynamic of the game. So, I don't know if physicality will be a part of it. Less mistakes. I just always go back to turnovers. Whoever's +2, and I don't know if anybody's going to be +2, whoever's +2 in the turnover will win the game because the game is so tight and it's too I know it's a cop-out. I'm not ready to say who I'm being in Philadelphia. You better say...
Looks like you're getting a $3,200 refund.
Did she mention that at H&R Block, everyone gets their max refund or their money back?
And we always guarantee
100% accuracy on every return. You had me at max refund. Switch to H&R Block. Get 100% accuracy. Max refund guaranteed.
Check out these deals of the week at Walgreens. Shop weekly deals at your store or at Walgreens.com.
You think the Eagles are going to win the game, or otherwise you're an outcast. But I'm going to tell you, the thing is, and they won the game so easily last game, but there was a reason for that, beyond the fact that they were a better team than Washington. When teams play 3 straight road games, they almost, the percentage of them winning that third game is like 30%. The Washington Commanders, whatever the hell they are, the Redskins. They played their fourth straight road game in that game against the Eagles. Now, again, it was turnovers. Teams don't win in their third straight road game, and they got a break because Detroit turned the ball over 5 times. But that game was a gimme for the Eagles. So I can't base it on the fact that they scored